Notion. I'm Mira Rubin here with you on Enlightened World Network. And today's topic is potential. And what is it really? And what does it look like to live up to our potential and just whatever kinds of aspects we can think of to discuss around that whole notion. So before we get started though, let's take a minute or two to get present. Let's take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it. And imagine clear, crisp oxygen flooding into your lungs, flowing into your bloodstream, nourishing all your cells, all your organs, bringing vital life energy throughout your body and being. And as you exhale, exhale any tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's take another deep breath in through your nose and hold it. This time, imagine brilliant bright light lighting you up from the inside out, illuminating all your cells, all your electrons, all your molecules, energizing and electrifying and connecting you with the world beyond. And as you exhale, exhale any remaining stress, tension, negativity, fatigue. And now let's just gently press our palms together and softly, softly, softly rub your fingers against your palms and feel the deliciousness of that sensation to bring yourselves present right here, right now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So potential, maybe we've experienced people saying, or maybe even having said ourselves at one time or another, something about living up to our potential, or they has so much potential, or this opportunity has so much potential. And what is potential? So I did my nerdy thing and I looked up the definition of potential, and the definition that I found is possible as opposed to actual, capable of being or becoming, and expressing possibility. Possibility, potentiality, a latent excellence or ability that may or may not be developed, a potential aspect, mood, construction, case. So when we think about potential, what we're talking about the possible rather than the actual. And so when we're talking about the possible rather than the actual, we're creating a construct, right? Because it's not actual. So for all intents and purposes, we're making it up, right? How do we know what the potential of something actually is? What is that conversation really? When we think about the potential of maybe of an employment opportunity, or when we say about a person, oh, they have so much potential, what are we actually saying? What are we, because we've been talking about sorry, my mouth's not working quite right today. We were talking about projection earlier this week. And so when we think about potential, it's a positive projection. Well, not always, I guess, because we could say, wow, that could have potential to really blow things up or really become a disaster. But what is this whole notion of potential? Typically, we think of it in a positive way, but again, this is sort of the nuance of language, and I guess it's pretty particular to whoever's speaking. But when we think about potential, it's usually in a positive light. And potential to what? Potential to accomplish certain things, maybe. I think it's often used in the context of, oh, that person had so much potential that was unrealized, or it's interesting because we can look at an opportunity that we consider to have all kinds of potential and have lots of excitement about it. And that is a positive projection or a projection of positive outcomes, perhaps. And maybe that is part of what we get to do in manifesting, is looking at the potential for something that draws us forward. Yeah, of course, we can imagine the potential of something to go bad, but I'm thinking today, for the context of our conversation today, I'm thinking of it more as an opening, like what's possible, and what's the potential for this. And then the question that's interesting to me is, how do we evaluate that potential? Because it's a fabrication to begin with, right? So we work with potential as if it's a real thing, like when we're evaluating a business opportunity, for example, or we're looking at the potential for something to generate a profit, and we can say, well, the potential is based on this, that, and the other thing. Good morning, Grace Isis. I love it. Core Connector. Welcome. It's great to have you here. So we're talking about potential, and maybe untapped. We talk about untapped potential. Well, the truth is that all potential is untapped, isn't it? Because potential by definition is something that doesn't currently exist. Hold on, Maggie, hold on. I'm sorry. Maggie's found something else to chew on because now she can't go get the plant. So she's very creative in finding things to entertain herself. So she has potential for doing a lot of destruction. And how am I assessing that potential? Based on experience. So that's actually an interesting point there. Thank you, Maggie, because we often project the future based on the past, right? We think that that's being realistic, that we can predict things based on past performance. And it's interesting that we have that. Maggie, hold on one second. I'm going to bring this thing over so you can see it. So this is what Maggie's been chewing on, and I figure if I bring it over here, it'll stop her. See, it's actually a sculpture, which she has done some damage to already. They're not live, they're sculpted, but she's been decorating quite effectively here. So I'm just going to put it right over here so that she can't get to it without my being able to get to her. So she's helping me tap my creative potential to shift her behavior. Anyway, so potential. When we talk about potential, it's a fabrication, it's a projection of possibility. We tend to operate as though the past predicts the future. And if we look at things like COVID, it's pretty much unprecedented in our experience, right? As a culture, as a global culture. So we couldn't have used the past to predict the future, although there were quite a few predictions that there would be a pandemic that humanity would have to face. There were quite a number of these predictions. We didn't project that from the past necessarily. So I guess what I'm wondering about is, what is our capacity to assess potential from uh, the emerging future. A while ago, I took a course that was called Leading from the Emerging Future, and I thought it was such a brilliant title because we are facing unprecedented circumstances on this planet. So we don't have the past to indicate what is going to happen. So we get to try and figure it out from all kinds of indicators that aren't necessarily that are a function of our imagination. Good morning, Elaine. Elaine says, did you get her some toys to chew like wood and then they have them at Petco? It's a natural way. It's one of the ways they groom their beaks. She has a whole pile of toys. She's got all kinds of stuff to chew on. And I appreciate your suggestions. Same thing, Lisa was making some suggestions too. I appreciate the suggestions. The thing is that she likes to chew on my plants, and she likes to chew on I don't get, it's not that she chooses other things to chew on. Good morning, Bernadette. So wonderful to have you here. So we're looking at the word potential and what does it mean, and dissecting that a little bit, and at the same time looking at Maggie's behavior and her chewing all kinds of things that she shouldn't be chewing. I haven't found a toy that she would really enjoy yet, that she enjoys more than my plants. Elaine says mine likes to throw all my things out of my drawers. Love it. What Maggie likes to throw things off the shelves. And she has a particular she has a particular dislike of this one type of pen that I have. So whenever it's anywhere near here, she'll drop it on the floor. She'll throw it on the floor. And then we play because I get to pick it up and I fetch and she throws. So that's how it works. And I'm her favorite chew toy at this point so far. So I have to find something else that she'll enjoy. She kind of likes toothpicks. She likes chewing up toothpicks. But anyway, so as far as Maggie goes, this is what she's been redecorating. So here, if I have it right here, you'll see her trying to come and eat it. Anyway, potential. So it's interesting. We talk about potential as if it's a real thing. Maybe when it comes to power and electricity, there's potential that we can measure. But when we think about potential, what we're doing is we're making up a story about what's possible, and what's possible for an individual, what's possible for a business, what's possible for an opportunity. And Bernadette says, I had a cockatiel. I guess we're talking about birds today. Bernadette says, I had a cockatiel that did the same thing until I bought a cat toy that was on a piece of wood, but had a squishy toy at the end. Okay, so it's just a matter of finding the right toy for her, huh? She's got, because I inherited Maggie, she has a cage filled with toys. Some things she's shredded. So, I saw that there was something in there that she enjoys, but she doesn't spend any time in her cage. And so she's marauding around the house, finding things to chew on and play with everywhere. She likes lampshades. And, so Elaine says, yes, they love them. And Bernadette says she carried it around and would chew on the toy. So I'm gonna have to find a toy that she likes enough to carry around. That would be awesome. Maybe we should just talk about bird tips today. I don't know, so Elaine says you have to change out the toys because they get bored with them. Yeah, she's into everything. Maggie is into everything, and she's pretty smart. So I think I told you how she outsmarted me. She was eating my plant, and I finally realized, I shared with you, I finally realized that I could close the curtain and that would protect the plant. So I figured out to close the curtain, and then she figured out that it was actually two curtains, and she found her way in between where there was the break in the two curtains. It wasn't a big break, but she was able to figure it out. So then I had to clip it shut. So now she can't get in there, at least for now. She might figure out how to get rid of the clip. She's been really enjoying eating. I have these orchids, and I have stakes that I use a mini hair clip to clip the stalk of the orchid to the stake so that it goes straight. Well, she's chewing up the hair clips now. She's enjoying that. And Lisa says, good morning, Lisa. It's so good to have you here. We're talking about bird behavior, and that's why I have these sculptured flowers here, because they were on the other end of the room, and Maggie was flying over to eat them. Now, if she wants to eat them, I can manage it from right here. So Bernadette says it's potential day. Exactly. So what we're talking about is what is potential. And birds. What's the potential to find something to entertain Maggie that isn't destroying all kinds of art and property? I'm not sure. Anyway, so Lisa says you should teach her to fly to you on command, then you can recall her to you whenever you want her to. And Lisa, I did actually look up foraging toys. And I'm wondering if I can even create them. Like I saw these little boxes where they had a handle, and she would be able to pull stuff out to get to food inside. I saw these, it looks like there's some sisal kinds of toys that she might want to play with, because she does love to chew stuff. And I'm wondering if you have a specific kind of recommendation, because I saw such a variety and nothing struck me as something that would be engaging for her, but I don't know, like there was one group of toys, there was a little skateboard as part of the package, like a little bird skateboard. It's bizarro. And there was another thing that had like a post and rings to put on the post. And Lisa says, very easy to make, just be careful what it's treated with, what chemicals it's treated with. Yeah, so I'm thinking that she liked the sisal thing to chew on because it was rough against her beak. I don't know, because I have all kinds of yarns and things, but I don't know how great that would be for her. Anyway, if there are specific suggestions, that would be really awesome. Elaine says, I got Rochelle a wooden truck and she loved it. It's so funny. Well, if you guys, okay, so Lisa says you can fill paper rolls, fill them and bend the ends in. So I have a bunch of paper rolls. What would I do? Put holes in them, put stuff inside for her. I mean, when you say foraging, it's not about her eating stuff, right? It's about having something to play with and chew on. Is that, because it didn't look like they were all food related. Some of them looked like they were things that gave her food, but others not so much. So I'm new to this whole bird thing. And Maggie definitely runs the house. I haven't figured out how to. I do call her. She will come with me when that's what I thought, foraging for their food. But so many of the toys that I found under the list of foraging toys didn't have anything to do with food. So that confused me a little bit. But I do have all these toilet paper rolls, and maybe I could make toys for her out of that. Okay, fill the paper rolls with snacks. All right. The thing is that they would probably end up everywhere. I would imagine that the food, the treats inside would end up all over the place. If I'm presuming I'd have to have a hole in the roll somehow so that she could get into the food inside. Okay, so Elaine says, so we're getting educated about birds today. Why not? I can go with the flow. Elaine says it's not always food related. In the wild, they chew on sticks and leaves. They use the wood on the trees to groom their beaks, and they do it all the time. Yeah, you know, I know you're supposed to have a cuttle bone for that purpose. She has a cuttle bone. She could care less about it. She doesn't have any interest in that at all. But she does like to chew toothpicks. I have a paper roll here, right here. Maybe I can get her to play with it. Let's see. There she is. There. She's chewing it. So I have to, these ones are really strong, so the ends won't bend in that well, but it seems like she might be interested in this so far. So maybe she'll play with that. It's so interesting, not having a bird before, and having cats and dogs my whole life pretty much. It's very different to have a bird, and to know that she's very intelligent. She's going nuts with this thing, but she's getting all kind of worked up about it, and biting me. So Elaine says, oh wait, Lisa says, on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m., the Animal Behavior Center has coffee with the critters. You can learn a lot. Food is good to start with because food is a motivator. Awesome. Animal Behavior Center, coffee and critters. That sounds like fun. And Elaine says they like to stay busy in the wild. They're always flying from tree to tree and moving around. So they're in constant motion. They need to have something to do. And Lisa says the beak is a muscle and needs to be exercised. There she goes here. And Elaine says, yes, it's very different to have a bird. Rochelle has taught me a lot about what that means. Maggie's teaching me a lot too. And the thing that's so different about having a bird, ow, Maggie, no biting me. The thing that's so different about having a bird to me is that she is truly a constant companion. She is on me or with me all the time, pretty much. And bow, Maggie, that was good girl. She just did the bow. It was the first time since she did it the other day that she's done it. She's got a mind of her own for sure. She doesn't seem to enjoy being told what to do, and I get that. But she can be pretty defiant. Not like I try to discipline her or anything. I'm just trying. The one thing I'm surprised she hasn't learned to say is no biting, because that's something that she does a lot and that I say a lot. She loves walnuts, but the thing is that if I give her a walnut, she doesn't enjoy it anywhere near as much as if she steals a walnut. Bernadette, I'm in Philadelphia. I'm in the Philadelphia area, actually. So what I notice about Maggie is she likes to do it herself. You know, so if I give her something, it's nowhere near as good as if she takes it. Lisa, have a great day at work. So glad to have you join us. And thank you for your advice, and enjoy work. Maybe you can imagine that something wonderful and unexpected will happen today. You know, there's potential, to go back to the original topic or intention, there's potential that something magical could happen. So maybe be open to that, and who knows. Anyway, we were talking about potential and how really it's a projection of possibility, right? Bernadette says, oh, how sweet, Bernadette. Bernadette says, I craft and was going to make you some things to try out for free. Oh, you're so sweet, Bernadette. That's so sweet. Lisa says, my boss is a domineering bully. Well, that's a challenge. I'm wondering what might be a reframe to, you know, like to recontextualize that perception of him. I know it can be challenging, but you know, when people are bullies, it's often because they're in pain, you know, that they've been bullied in some way or another. And yeah, dealing with bullies is a challenge, and being able to project love and appreciation in the presence of a bully is also a challenge. But you can explore the potential, for transforming that, or for maybe there's potential for a delightful and unexpected surprise in terms of his behavior. Maybe if you, and actually I was assuming that it's a guy, but maybe it's not. Women can be domineering bullies too. Yeah, and maybe there's a way to, maybe there's potential for a new way to respond that I don't know. I wish you good luck. But why not go with a new vantage point to say, what can I discover here today that I wasn't previously aware of? Maybe there's an insight, maybe there's an inroad, maybe there's a breakthrough, maybe there's a possibility or a potential that is as yet unrealized that you can recognize today. And I guess we can all take that into our lives to say, what is the potential? What kinds of positive projections can we put forward in developing an understanding or a perception or a space for the potential? How can we expand the potential of something, or the positive potential of something? I think it's worth exploring. So beautiful, Elaine. Elaine says, what is this experience teaching me? Or what's the gift in this experience? And the gift may be something in the realm of self-awareness. You know, there may be a greater possibility for understanding. So Lisa says, no, he treats everybody like that. That's just him. I'm keeping a journal for legal reasons. That's how bad it is. Wow, Lisa, I'm so sorry. I'm wondering if you have an HR person that you're able to communicate with. That's unfortunate place to be. And maybe there are maybe there are new opportunities to explore for you, where you don't have to deal with that person. Maybe another job or another opportunity is out there for you where you don't have to endure that. Nobody should have to be at the effect of somebody like that. So anyway, an interesting morning for sure. I thank you all for your bird tips. And Bernadette, you're so sweet. I would love to have an idea, I appreciate your generosity. And Lisa says, it's taught me that I've become stronger, and instead of curling up in a ball and shaking, I can now stand up to him. Well, that's huge. Lisa, that's like, he's a wonderful teacher in that regard. Then he's met his match. I am woman, hear me roar. I love it, Lisa. That's awesome. And that is a gift. That's really beautiful. Congratulations. And in that respect, he's a teacher for you, and that's powerful, and that's something to appreciate. As much as he's a bully, there's something that he's contributed to you. Maybe not deliberately, but hey. Bernadette says, the gift, I believe, is patience while teaching them how to behave. We all teach people how to treat us. So maybe a different dialogue is needed to be placed. And that's what it sounds like is happening, where Lisa, you're standing up to him, which is wonderful. And Elaine says to Lisa, blessings all in this experience as this awakening unfolds. It is an ever unfolding adventure, isn't it? For sure. And maybe the strength that you gain in learning to deal with this bully person will serve you really well going forward in your life. I can say that having grown up in an environment where I really needed to, where I was dealing with very strong personalities and needed to learn to navigate that, it set me up in life to be able to be undaunted in standing my ground when that's called for, and for speaking up, because I really had to be bold in speaking up in order to be heard. And even then I wasn't necessarily heard, but still I learned how to navigate these really intense energies. So that was a gift for me. And I think it's yet to serve me even in greater ways going forward, because I expect to be dealing with some bigger kinds of projects, and it's going to be requiring being steadfast in intention and clarity. So anyway, Lisa, good luck. Much love to you. And again, I just want to say thank you all. I love being with you. I so appreciate your bird input, and you're helping to teach me, and I appreciate that. And Maggie ultimately will appreciate that, I'm sure. And so I think that's it for today. I'm Mira Rubin. This is the Core Connection, and I go live each weekday morning here on Enlightened World Network on the Facebook page. And please check out the other Enlightened World Network properties, the EWN, One with the Earth, and Enlightened World Living. And it's just a wonderful community, and you guys light me up. I am so grateful for you, and for the sharing that we do each morning together. It's just such a wonderful gift. So Thank you, thank you, thank you. And use today to look for new potentials, unexplored potentials, see what's possible. And yeah, there's so much power in living in possibility. So lots and lots of love.